Hey, my friends, David Guido here, personal development coach, trainer, speaker, Zig Ziglar, legacy, certified trainer, and author of the book, What If? 30 Days to Powerful New Perspective. So Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines constructive as promoting improvement or development. Meanwhile, Merriam-Webster's defines destructive as designed or tending to hurt or destroy. So my question this week is based on those definitions. Do you find yourself more constructive or destructive? It's a tough world out there right now. There's a lot of destructive stuff being said and being done. And while I believe there's still more constructive words spoken and posts on Facebook and all that, the bad stuff sells, sensationalism sells, and so I do also believe that while there may be more constructive behavior out there, the destructive behavior is overshadowing it because it sells and it's sensationalized. And so this week, if you find yourself answering that question by saying, maybe I'm a little bit more destructive, I'm getting caught up, I know I have. I know especially over the last year, I've gotten caught up way more than I should have, and just made mistake after mistake because I was caught up by saying things either verbally or posting things that were more destructive than constructive. We can all get caught up in that, and maybe you're there now. Maybe you think that none of this describes you and that you are locked into being constructive. And if that's the case, that's fantastic. Share this with other people because you know people. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, if you have a conversation with another human being, you know people that are behaving in a more destructive way than a constructive way. And so you want to share this with them. And really what we're talking about here are your words, your Facebook posts, your social media, and another form of communication other than spoken word, email, and text. And the things we're going to talk about are relatable to all of those areas: your family, your children, your spouse, your extended family, your friends, but also at work, your colleagues, your coworkers, your boss, the other teams in the company that you work with, whether it's a little or a lot, your customers. In any and every area, we have choices every day to be more constructive or more destructive. And if you've struggled with it, if you're struggling with it now, we're going to talk about the 5 moves you can make, the 5 things you can work on immediately, implement to become more constructive and less destructive. And then we're going to talk about the 4 huge, powerful benefits why we want to do that. So let's bang them out real quick, just like we do every week. Number 1, promoting improvement or development, again, is the definition of constructive. Designed or tending to hurt or destroy is the definition of destructive. And number 1 is criticize the performance and praise the performer. So often when we talk to our family or friends or spouse, we say things like, why did you do that? You're a loser. I see on Facebook all the time now, friends calling each other moron or idiot because they don't agree with a perspective. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to call somebody out, and it's okay to tell somebody that they did something wrong or maybe they did something you didn't like. But we always have to remember that we're all flawed, we all make mistakes, and we're all awesome and beautiful. Better to say to your child, that's not something you probably should have done because you can do better. I know you can do better. You're awesome. Let's try it again. Better that than, what's the matter with you? What's your problem? Why can't you get that done the way I asked you to? Which is meant to hurt or destroy. So we always want to criticize the performance. We want to praise the performer, whether it's social media, at work, or at home. Number 2, ask what if. The core of my book. When somebody says something on Facebook, our initial reaction, if we don't agree, is to call them a moron or an idiot. But what if their position is based on a traumatic event that happened to them, or that happened to somebody in their family? That doesn't mean we have to agree with their position. But then we come at it from a constructive, bridge-building, gap-destroying, and relationship and solution-oriented approach, as opposed to, as it says in the definition, a hurtful or destructive, hurt or destroy approach of calling somebody an idiot or a moron, because we don't stop and go, geez, what if something's going on there? When our kids do something wrong, do we stop and go, what if they're having a bad day? What if they just don't get it? What if they tried their hardest? Again, doesn't mean we have to agree with the behavior, doesn't mean we have to agree with the statements, but what it does mean is that when we look at it from a what-if perspective, we look at it from kindness and forgiveness and empathy and understanding, that causes us to respond constructively. When we don't ask what if, or we don't care where they're coming from, we react out of anger, negativity, bitterness, and we hurt and we destroy. Number 3 is put things in their proper perspective. More people became millionaires in the Great Depression than at any other time in our history. There are people over the last 8 years who did not like Barack Obama, did not agree with most or all of his policies, and they did really, really well at the game of life during those 8 years because they didn't worry about hurting and destroying Obama or hurting or destroying the people who supported him. They worried about being constructive, building bridges, creating solutions, and keeping their hope unlocked and their dreams unleashed, and realizing their purpose and their mission and creating their legacy and being highly successful. There are people today who do not like Donald Trump. There are people who don't agree with Donald Trump and will feel that way for the next 4 years, and they're going to have the best 4 years of their life because they're going to be constructive. They're going to put it in the proper perspective that no matter what's going on, they probably can make happen what they want to make happen and fulfill their purpose and their mission. There are people in this country who go over the top and lose friendships and lose relationships and say and type and do things that are hurtful and destructive because their sports team didn't win. Meanwhile, there's people around the world who don't get hot meals and have dirt floors and have raw sewage running outside their front door that would trade places in a heartbeat. So we need to keep things in their proper perspective, that there's a bigger picture always, that we need to be constructive and improve and develop, as it says, as opposed to being hurtful and destroy. Number 4 is to always remember what is your actual goal. When you go to post something, I find it hard to believe that you would say, my goal here is to hurt and destroy. My goal here is to further the anger and the bitterness and the divisiveness. I can't believe many people have that as a goal, yet that's what we do. We say things to our spouse to hurt and destroy. We say things to our kids. We say things to our boss, to our customers, to our colleagues, on and on and on. We say all these things that are hurtful and destructive. Is that really our goal? And when we're in focus and we're in tune with, no, you know what I really like, what my goal really is in my heart, which I think is true for most all of us, what I really want as my goal is I want to improve and develop. I want to build bridges and come to solutions and compromise and figure out the best way that will help everybody. That's really what our goals are. And sometimes we lose sight of that because we get worked up. All the destructive negativity around us sucks us in, and we lose sight of what our real goal is. And number 5, remember that love begets love and hate begets hate. As part of my business as a personal development coach, and trying to be inspirational, I spend a lot of time on social media for research purposes, study purposes. One of the things I do a lot, this is part of the reason why I got caught up over the last year in being more destructive than I wanted to be and not as constructive as I wanted to be, is because I was researching and following all these threads. And here's what I found. Never does somebody say something destructive that's meant to hurt and destroy and love is created. No, what happens is more hurt and destruction is created. More hurtful statements, more statements intended to destroy, and fewer as you follow these threads and you follow these conversations. When it becomes a verbal conversation in a home or in a workplace, it never becomes about improvement and development. It always becomes about the hurt and destroy. Hate begets more hate. Anger begets more anger, and love begets more love. So we need to be focused on the constructive side, on improvement and development and working together and building bridges and compromise and creating solutions that everybody can be happy with. So those are the 5 things, those are the 5 moves, the 5 tips as you go forward from this point and you're talking with somebody, you're posting on social media, you're emailing, you're texting. Number 1, if performance needs to be criticized, or if it's something you simply disagree with, that's okay to criticize that or to contest it or to debate it. But always remember the other person is wonderful and awesome and has gifts and has talents and deserves to be praised. and deserves to be respected. That's number one. Number two, ask what if, put yourself in their shoes. You don't know why people feel the way they feel if you haven't asked what if. You don't know why people say and do what they say and do if you haven't asked what if, so make sure you're doing that. Number three, put things in their proper place, their proper perspective, and understand that no matter the situation, there's opportunity for constructiveness. There's opportunity for improvement and development and negotiation and compromise and building bridges and working together and coming together. There's always opportunities for that. Number four, what is your actual goal? And always remember that what's really on your heart is to do all of those things constructively. And number five, when you put something out there that is intended to hurt and destroy, you have created additional hurt and destruction, period, end of conversation. When you put something out there that's constructive, based in love to improve and develop and lift people up, that's what you've created, is more of that. Why do we want to do that? 4 reasons, real quick. What are the big benefits? Number one, obvious, great relationships. There are people on Facebook that have been friends for decades, and now they're calling each other moron and idiot, swearing at each other and unfriending each other. When you are in a constructive mindset of improvement, development, negotiation, compromise, solution-based, looking to lift each other up, you have the greatest, strongest relationships. When you're in a situation where everything you're putting out there verbally or in print or type or whatever is meant to hurt and destroy or be destructive, you have the worst relationships. That's just a fact. So the big benefit, the first big benefit is we have better relationships. Number two is that we get to serve more. When we have these great, powerful relationships that are built on being constructive and helping and not hurting and destroying and pulling each other down, then we can serve each other more, which is what we're born to do. We're here to serve each other and to help each other and lift each other up. Number three is we get more done. We're more productive. When you're mired in that destructive behavior, all you want to do is hurt. All you want to do is destroy. That's not productive. Whether it's in the workplace or whether it's at home, you sap yourself of your productivity. And certainly when you're constructive, that's why constructive in the word itself is to build, is to create. And when you're focused on improvement and development and being constructive, you're going to be more productive. You're going to get more done. And number four kind of encapsulates all of those previous 3, because we've talked about this before. When you have the best relationships and you're able to serve others, which is part of your purpose and mission and reason for being alive, and when you're being productive and you're getting things done, achieving your goals, realizing your dreams, your hope is unlocked, what happens? You realize the most amazing benefits of all: happiness, peace, health, joy, lack of stress, fulfillment, more energy, more excitement, more passion. Think about it. When you're in that constructive mode of lifting people up and focused on improvement, development, and compromise and solutions and creating solutions and building bridges and bringing people together, you have all of those great things. And when you are mired in the destructiveness of hurting and destroying other people and that negative side, you lose your energy, you lose your passion, you lose your joy, you lose your happiness, you're more stressed, you have less, you have worse health, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These days, again, I believe that we have way more constructive people out there watching this video and across the world than we do destructive. But the destructive sells, it's sensationalized and it's overwhelming the constructive. And we need to put a stop to that. And we need to make sure it doesn't affect us the way it affected me a lot in 2016 and into early 2017. And we need to make sure it's not affecting you and sapping you of where you need to be. So get out there every day and focus on these 5 things: criticizing only the performance, remembering to praise performers, asking what if, putting things in their proper perspective, making sure you're focused on the right goal, and never forget that when you do something loving, love's going to be generated and birthed. And when you do something that generates or creates hate, you're birthing and creating more hate. You do that, you focus on those 5 things, those tips and those strategies, and what's going to happen is you're going to have better relationships, you're going to have more opportunities to serve people, you're going to be more productive and get more done, and you're going to have all of those amazing benefits, the things that we really want the most: health, peace, joy, happiness, fulfillment, energy, and passion. And that's all part of the So Good life. So thank you so much. As always, I love hearing from you. So please comment, please like, please share. Share this with 5 people you know. You know 5 people that are leaning far more toward destructive comments and posts than constructive. And so share this with them and impact them. And until the next time, get out there every single solitary day. Discover something new. Reach for your dreams. Every day, go for it. Live the life that is so good.